tower was rescued last Sunday from a storage unit here in Newport. A woman purchased it new from a friend or whatever, and she never put it together. I'm like, you gotta put it together, you gotta use it. And she's like, no. So I definitely took it off her hands and put it together. Now I need probably two more to make it just a little bit taller, but I think what I'm going to do with this is my tomato tower is very mature. And so I'm pulling a ton of tomatoes off of it. And eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to burn out all the tomatoes and we're not going to get any more flowers and it's just going to become very leggy. So I think before that happens and I run out of tomatoes, I'm going to do something very special. I'm going to do something very different. And I'm started it. I don't want to ruin the whole thing, but it will happen probably within the next week or so, where we're going to fill this bad boy up, and it's going to go a lot quicker than going from seed. So let your minds wander there. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is, and I'm working with somebody, I'm pretty techie, but I may have to have somebody come in and give me a hand with this. But so my grow room is just a room and it's downstairs. So I thought, like, how cool would this be to do a few cameras in here and leave them live? There could be stationed like over in the nursery, and you guys could actually watch in real time, like the seeds grow. So I thought, yeah, that would be super, super cool. And then I thought, well, maybe just put them around the room. And the way that I would do it is you could go to my website, the Tower Gardening Made Easy, and I would just build a page out on the website. And you would actually be able to click on the different cameras to see what's going on in the room, whether I'm here or not. You could actually watch a tower. But I'm working with somebody in Newport who's very techie. So there's some technical issues, and I think you have to stream the cameras through some type of a platform. Need to figure that one out. But in terms of the cameras, they're very, very inexpensive. But I just thought nobody else is doing this. This is so cool. And I don't care. I'm on camera anyway, doing live. So why not? But then I can take the footage because I think it's on a loop on this platform. And then I can literally say, for instance, I'm growing these beans. So let me swivel around. And I'm going to bring you guys down. So these are the beans that I'm growing. And obviously they took off. Like it's a big seed. We know they're big seeds and they pop real fast. So if I had a camera, like just say up in that corner, and then it angles down on the whole, the whole nursery, and then you guys can watch it in real time. And then what I could do is take it off the platform, after like say 4 or 5 days, maybe even a week, and then speed it up so we could actually see the footage, speed up and watch the whole thing grow, pop out of the little seed pod. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think that would be super cool. But I'm working on it. I'm going to work with the tech guy and see if we can get this done, because I already have the website. Y'all know about it. And it would be relatively easy to set up here. So let's bring it back. Okay, so let me know how you guys feel about that, because it would be easy. All right, so back to here. And the other thing too is, I'll show you in a minute, my watermelon tower, we actually have our first flowers. But problem, of course there's a problem. I don't have any male. I only have female. So I had to MacGyver it, Anthony. And I took a cucumber flower male and I took the inserts of it and I did my best. I went to the watermelon and I tried to pollinate it with that particular flower. I just thought the flowers look similar. I don't know if it's actually going to work or not, but it would be very, very cool if it does, because I'm going from a bee's perspective. The bee goes around from flower to flower to flower and grabs pollen and puts it in the mouth and goes away. So why wouldn't that work if you went from a cucumber flower to a watermelon flower? Just saying. So I'm going to keep my eye on it. I'll show you guys in a minute. Hold on, let me just get this out of the way. All right. So what do we got going on here? So you guys did this. I started the beans. So let's go take this. I'm going to spin this around. All right. Personal here. Lots going on. There we go. So that's the flower. And so last night this was open, and I have one down below. I'll show you that one in a second, but I don't know, maybe it's just my imagination. I want to imagine that this is the watermelon right here, that it's just slightly bigger than it was last night. I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking maybe because this type of stuff, because it's a big seed, grows pretty fast. And then I have another, which again, I tried to pollinate it with cucumber flower underneath it. And you can see, if you can see that little speck right there in the center, that is the male component of the cucumber plant. Oh, I just hope it works. I really do. I will be so bummed if it doesn't. But I know that I'm on the right path because it's its power is growing, and it's starting to attach to my makeshift MacGyver trellis that I made from Michael's, and it's starting to latch on. So that's really good. So if you're wondering what that's all about, I don't know if you caught my video the other day about the bok choy. So I harvested all the bok choy, and I don't want any more algae. This is the tower that I had problems with the algae. And so someone had asked if you had watched my podcast or the live, let's talk about it. And they were like, how do you keep it out of the tower? So instead of like going and buying expensive covers, I literally just took some old towel and I just tossed it over the top of this where the baby green section is. And then right here where the net pots, where you see those purple things, honestly, those are just rubber gloves that I stuffed down in there so that the water doesn't come out, and the light can't get in. So no more, no more algae. Because again, I had huge problems with this tower, but we've solved it. His problems have been all solved, and we've got some great we've got some really great growth in the squash tower. So this is that baby green section on top. As you can see, the arugula. This is a different type of lettuce that I've never grown before. I've always done that baby crunch, and it just tends to like get really leggy and take over. And I don't know, it wasn't working for me. So I decided to switch to some arugula, and I forget, this is another like baby green of some sort, but it's coming in real nice. And the summer squash, I've harvested off of this quite a bit. So I'm thinking, you know me, I'm always thinking, it's time for this guy to go at some point. Probably not today because I've been in this room pretty much, I don't know, a good portion of it, and I need to maybe go spend some time with my dog. So yeah, I've pulled 3 good size summer squash and a zucchini in the past week off of this tower. She looks really lovely. I've got another one right there. As you can see how that green tip is right there? Can't explain that. But I'm sure it's fine. It's growing. So we'll take it. And again, this one is just, it's mature. It was kind of like that mammoth one. It's time to go because I've got one right here to the left of it, right in this area right here. She's brand new. And so she's ready to really start to take off. And it's time to, like, at some point harvest this bad boy and, and then maybe start over. This is not going to make it. So I'm going to pull this off. Yeah, it's too squishy. These little ones just don't, I don't know. They flower, I pollinate, but they just don't take. Occasionally they do. But see like how this flower right here, it looks like it's ready to pollinate, but it's not. If I pollinate it, it'll end up like the one I just picked off. So, or even like this guy down here. Let me show you. Down a little bit, right there. So even this guy right here, I pollinated, but when they're this tiny, I just feel like the flower, even if I pollinate it, it doesn't take. So it's just time. It's time for them to kind of come out, and I need to just, let these new guys just take over, because when we get to the zucchini tower, you're going to be pretty impressed with that. That is going like gangbusters. So yeah, I'm really happy with the growth on this. I don't know if I can get into the back. The back looks pretty good. Like this one down here. Lots and lots of flowers there. And we got a big one right there, but that's harvest that today or tomorrow. A yucky flower. That's actually on a zucchini. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. You look deep down in there on the yucky flower. There is a zucchini right there. So we're doing pretty well there. Oh, here's something. So this morning when I came down, definitely this was a problem. So I'm going to get in real close right there. See this string? So this whole branch was hanging on top of where the water port is. So this whole cluster got too heavy overnight and just kaplunked down. So I had to take string right there, go underneath, and then MacGyver it up here, kind of just to hold it in place because I need to test the pH and I need to occasionally put water. So I have a feeling this bottom plant that's in here is going to have to come out relatively soon. So you know what I mean about this tower? It's pretty mature, even though there seems to be tons and tons of tomatoes. Eventually, by the time I get the other tower going, they're all going to mature and they're going to um, be gone. So it's important to, rotate. So that's the goal here. I don't want a house plant. I want a tower that's going to, provide me some food. Let me just lock this in and back it up a little bit. So as you can see, there's a lot of green. So I have harvested quite a bit, but if I go around, you're going to see, there's a bunch of flowers. In deep, there's lots of like yellow in there. And then I've got, clusters of red that are deep, deep, and then tons of green, tons, tons. But by the time the other tower gets going and it gets to this stage, I'll probably have some lag time. Like deep down in there, there's like a bunch that are going. So, and it's just getting a little leggy too. So, in my live podcast that I did the other day, I was just chatting about this teacher. And if you guys haven't watched it, you definitely want to check it out, where it was part of a group. And what happened is she left on Friday and her pH was just fine. But when she came back, the tower had like this huge brown, like burn mark. And it not only was the pH super, super high, but she had this burn mark. So that she showed me these 3 pictures and then she gave me some full tower pictures. And I just said, yeah, your pH A is off and B, your lights were too close. So see how this is where what I'm talking about is getting leggy. I got to keep moving these guys out because inevitably what's happening is the lights are too close and they're just getting burned. Like here's a burn mark right here. It's not going to hurt it per se, but you definitely don't want it. But I can just see where this tower it's mature. It's coming to a close, and I need to be able to rotate, just kind of like the summer squash. We just have to make that sacrifice and go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead over to the pepper. So I did that huge kind of a cutback. And as you can see, the foliage is already starting to fill back in. Now, I was really kind of getting a little depressed about, are these green peppers ever going to turn? And the package says they're going to turn green first, and then they're going to turn orange and yellow. And I was like, they've been like this for a long time. And I started to get like, oh my God, are they ever going to turn? And then sure enough, I don't know. Let me just see if I can get in. You guys can see it. I spotted right there, orange, that little guy right there. And I was like, wow, they really are going to change. And so now I have little clusters all over the tower, including some of the big ones. Now I want to show you this. This is kind of cool. See how they kind of, I'm going to go sideways, sorry. So see how they were green and now they're, with the light and the maturity, they're starting to turn orange. I don't have any yellow ones yet though, but that's okay. I'll take the orange. I just don't like green. I really thought I was going to end up with a whole tower of green peppers, and I was going to be leaving them for my friends and sticking them in neighbors' mailboxes because there's so many on this tower. So not quite ready to give up on this yet. I think we got some longevity here, but the tomatoes, I really got to start thinking long and hard about, starting another tower. And the way that I'm going to do it is going to be, it's going to be great. It's going to be, as this person says, I'm not going to tell you who it is, epic. Likes that word, epic. So, and then of course, let's move to the strawberry. Now I've come to a crossroads with the strawberries. Strawberry flowers are like, they are killer. They're awesome. The flowers, the clusters, they're all right there. A lot of them are pollinated. I've probably missed a couple here and there, but deep down, and again, I want you guys to get it nice up and close and personal. Let me lower. And like right here, these are all tiny little strawberries, and these will be eventually as well. Um, but I'm going to show you something amazing because I told you, I promised you that I would not eat a strawberry off the tower until I was with my audience. And there's a couple. So there she is. There's one. Here's another one, but it's not ripe yet. And I know this packet said it was like red and white, so not quite sure. But mm, there it is. Awesome. And they're everywhere. Not ripe yet, but like clusters. Like that's a cluster right there. There's another one that are all pollinated. Like I've spent days, every day and night coming here for a little bit and just pollinating with a toothbrush. But those are all strawberries. Now, if you look up into the baby green section, those were the strawberry plants that were in the nursery forever. So as I start to groom some of this back, because I think it's time, those are going to mature. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in that little section. But the amount of flowers that we ended up with this tower, and then remember, this was all from seed. So I'm thinking about doing a video of like from the beginning of like when I planted them till like and speed it up a little bit till now. Like I think that would be a lot of fun. I think people would appreciate that, and they might actually get some growth out of it. So when they go to their nursery or wherever they're growing, I mean, look at all those. These are all strawberries. And remember, guys, I'm growing this in my basement. It is a grow room. It was a bedroom, but now it's mine. So, and that is the strawberry tower. And there's a bunch of blooms on the back, but it's just hard to get back there with the tripod. So, all right, what's going on in the cucumber land? All right, so I've harvested a bit off of this recently, and I did some plantings. Just gonna get you guys nice and there we go. Okay, so these were the cucumbers. Let me just get that packet. I think it's called Space 80. Space Master. They are from Botanical Interest. Here's the packet if you're interested. Cucumber Space Master 80 from Botanical Interest. And these little guys right here, we planted last week. So we have our first real leaf. Then we've got those, little baby leaves that always pop off at the end. So here, 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 here. I think I threw some in the backside. So they're going to really, start to take off. I'm really hoping in the next week or two. And then the goal here is even on the ends, this stuff is relatively healthy on the trellis on either side. I think that all of these new guys will fill in quite nicely. And then I can actually kind of prune back a little bit of the stringy stuff. And this is, those little ties that you can find on my website that are on Amazon. You just click on it, it will take you right there. And then I can just try to prune back some of this. So we can keep these because they're nice and healthy and just kind of prune back and let these guys then trellis the main part of the tower. And then we'll just have a few vines that are going off to the sides. So it's like an extended tower. It has a life of its own. Like, I mean, if I back up, look how big that is. It's two trellises on either side, but it's just when you look at the main tower, it's very leggy. And that's okay. I actually kind of want it like that because when the new guys take off, they're going to need room to grow. And then, of course, you've got that top part, which is all celery. And I think I've said this before in another live that um, that celery I grew from seed. I think the grocery store one I think I pulled out. Um, it grew from seed and it's been in there probably since the beginning of December. And I just literally, when I need it, I just clip a few stalks, and I go upstairs and put it into. Actually, made a little bit of an egg salad with Dijon mustard, a little salt and pepper, and I diced up the celery really, really fine, and it was actually really, really good. I'm not a big mayonnaise person, and it's mayonnaise really isn't that good for you. So I said, why not? Let's just give it a whirl. So I decided to go ahead and give it a whirl. But it, if you look at it, it's wonderful. Like it's beautiful, and it's really really full in the back. I mean, look at that, look at that stalk. I tried to take out the this front one that was there. It started just to kind of not look that great. It was the first one that I had planted, which was right here. So I'm a little nervous to when it's time to say goodbye, take out that root system. It's pretty aggressive. So this will be a big challenge in the near future when I have to kind of turn over this whole tower. I've got a few cucumbers down there that they're okay. I can just tell they're a little bit old. Maybe I'll pick them off this weekend and then just try to salvage what I can. But I really want these guys to hurry up and grow and give me fruit. There are some little ones down in the, like here's one down here. One side is kind of the space master and right there. And then this guy is more of the European. So you can just look these. I don't think these guys are going to do anything, but see how they're much longer. I don't really particularly care for these. So when this goes, I won't be heartbroken. They just take a really long time to grow, a really long time. So not really interested. I think I'll stick with the other ones. I think that they're much more and they taste sweeter too. So I definitely love those. But yeah, and then this is what I've been doing all day. I've been cutting, harvesting, cleaning, pollinating, drinking coffee, and water. That's been my day, and then building this, which I'll post later in a video. All right, so let's get to the highlight. Okay, so we planted this a few weeks ago, and I've been actually, believe it or not, I've been pruning back on this quite a bit because I don't want the main plant where the zucchini sprout from to be shadowed. So I've been really, really good about being in there every single day. Excuse me. And when there's a leaf um, that falls within this bracket, this little region right here, I trim it back because this is where the light is and that's where they're growing from. So if I shadow that, then I'm not going to have any fruit. So right there is a zucchini, whoops, a zucchini right there. And then we've got some, uh, male flowers. I've got another one that's right here. Right there. And we've got lots and lots of blooms. Although I did have a little hiccup last week with the pH. I don't know, with it, well, I'll tell you, with the home unit, I have to say that because it's only 13 gallons, you have to be really careful about adjusting the pH either up or down because the capful that I've always done with the flex seems to be a little harsh on the home. So I was up, I was down, I was all over the place. And so finally I stopped and decided to go ahead and just add some water because I was just putting too many chemicals in there and messing with the nutrients. So this tower so far right now, it just looks really healthy. No yellowing, no burning. It's giving me lots and lots of flowers and fruit. I can see it coming. So I just love it when the tower and the plants, what the summer squash and the zucchini, when they get to this stage. I just the leaves look so beautiful, like tropical beautiful. Versus when they get old and they just, I don't know, they start to kind of like crinkle, and they get super thorny. So you have to be careful about, trimming it back and grabbing a leaf because it just literally, goes right into your hand and your skin. So, yeah, so it was, looks, I'm just so pleased with this tower. Let me just see if I can't get on the other side. Oh yeah, there is one big one right there. And you can see my little MacGyver trick here, that when they start to grow, they get very heavy. So you can see it resting on, just get a little bit closer. There we go. See this little piece of paper right here? I'm going to wiggle it back and forth. This is so that when the zucchini grows out, see the edges of the trellis? Um, I've this has happened before, that it gets stuck and it starts to grow into the trellis. So you don't want that. So these are the dividers, so that when you're planting, you put like parsley, whatever you're growing. I literally just pick up the zucchini and I slide it under. And as it grows, it just grows out on this away. And then once it's big enough, then it won't do it. But right now it's at that stage where it's just touching. So hopefully that will be ready in the near, I don't know, future week or so. It'll be ready. I can harvest that. But I'm really happy with the growth of most things in the grow room. And definitely let me know what your thoughts are about the cameras. I think it could be a lot of fun for people because I don't, I come on live periodically, but you could literally just go to the website towergardenmadeeasy.com and click on the page that I build, and you can click on whatever camera we set up and see what's going on. You could check out the towers, and maybe I can position a camera in the corner where I angle it right at that zucchini, and you can check on it periodically. So I don't know, it's just something that's different, and I don't really think anybody's doing it yet. I don't think it's going to count for YouTube because it would just be on the website. But yeah, I don't know, just sounds like fun. I'm kind of a techie geek when it comes to that type of stuff. Like I love building websites and thumbnails and really just making things really pretty. And you can see at the top too, this is all arugula that I did up on top, and this is all coming in real nice. And I like the crispness of this versus the Boston that I planted a while ago. It was just too soft. It didn't have that crunch to it. I don't need a ton of crunch, but definitely some. And then, I mean, look at all these buds. It's crazy, man. So crazy. Like, there's a lot of a lot of male. There's a female down there and there. But I just love it when they just get to this stage. The plant just looks so healthy. I will tell you that the difference between the zucchini flower and the summer squash is these bad boys, and that's another reason I went with the cameras. They open and they only open for a couple hours. So I had one zucchini that I actually had to pry the flower open and go ahead and try to self-pollinate with the flower being closed, which was kind of a bummer. So hopefully that takes. But you don't want to miss that window, because once you do, that means it didn't pollinate. You got no zucchini. But let's go check on the nursery. I started these guys under here. I haven't looked at them today. Just there we go. Move these out of the way. These were chives. Let me see if I can get the packet. Nope, those are the beans, melons, cucumbers. And now they're here somewhere. Oh, there we go. No, that's the celery. Oh, maybe I used it all. And toss the packet. But they were from Botanical Interest, and they were chives. And so that's what's going to go on top of the melon. I know I didn't use them all. Oh no, I took it back. I lied. These are from the burpee. These are the bunching onions. That's them right there. And that's what's in here. So let's just take a peek inside. I don't know. Let's get rid of the spider lights and look deep inside. Maybe we need one light. Yeah, okay. So that's cool. This guy needs some water. You can see them. They're a little bit leggy in there, and there, and there, and there, and there. So they're just starting, but this looks really dry. Let me just grab some water. I use just regular tap water. I don't do anything weird with the seedlings. I used to think that the tower water was best, but it's really just too strong at this stage. So I just kind of tip it. And sometimes what I do is I put like one of these crazy tools underneath for a little bit so that it gives it more of a slant. The whole tray slants this way. And then these guys. So I made fajitas the other night, and let me just back up. Maybe I'll swivel. Let's go this way. Hello. Let me get you guys nice and tall. Hold on. Let me put you over here. We got a lot of motion going on today. There's a pole in the way. Sorry. There you go. Okay. You guys see. All right. So one of the things that you can do with peppers, I just had 3 store-bought peppers because obviously mine aren't ready. I got a red, an orange, and a yellow to make fajitas. And I decided that I was going to go ahead because I was just so nervous about not having the correct peppers on the tower, that I was going to germinate my own. So I'm going to tilt this down so you guys can actually see. There we go, right there. So you can literally cut open a pepper and take a wet paper towel and get the seeds out of the pepper and then just put them on. And then what you want to do is just, fold it over carefully. This is nice and wet. I've done a video on this, I think, a couple times. And then I just put it inside of the Ziploc bag. See, I'm already in preparation of the pepper tower going south. Once I start to harvest, I don't really see a lot of blooms anymore. It's mostly just the peppers aging or maturing would be the proper term. So that tells me that I better get going on seeds. So I really like colored peppers. I don't like green peppers. And I do a lot of fajitas because they're yummy. If you want to quick look, oh, so wait a minute, so go back to this. So all I do is get all the air out. There's still air in here. Hold on. And then zip it, fold it over. And then as you can see, just move that over in the back. There's 2 others. They're in there. One's yellow, one's red, and this is orange. There's 3. And I leave them on the warming mat. They don't necessarily need light. They just need the warmth. And what you want to do is flip them over periodically and then just go in there occasionally and make sure that the paper towel stays wet. It should, because it's locked. These are all, sealed. But just double check it. And so probably like in a week or 2, what will happen is they'll start to sprout. And from there, you can actually go ahead and take, your rock wall and put it into a tray and then get it going. Pepper seeds take a little while from seed, and so does tomato, but I have a plan for that one. Don't want to spoil. So, but the pepper seeds, yeah. So I'm going to get going on this. I've got tons of trays, and because this tray will be freed up in probably another week or so when the beans go in. Again, I'm super excited to get that one going. That was devastating to have to go through that. If you haven't seen that video, please do. It's Bad Seeds Big Lesson was the video, and if you go deep enough in the video, you're going to watch me harvest what I can. And the beans were they were weird. The texture was strange. They had like fur on the outside. I didn't even talk about that in the video, but it was just a weird seed. And the more I think about it, I didn't get it on Amazon. I got it at Walmart, And again, I'm not picking on Walmart or Target or any of these places where you get your seeds. I'm simply saying that not every seed is created equal, and be careful where you buy them and where they store them. And so far, I'm not an affiliate for Botanical Interest, but so far these seeds are theirs. And I planted 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 20 on this tray. And out of the 20, they are all sprouted. I did not lose one. So that just tells me, and if they actually have a video that's out on YouTube, if you want to go check that out, you can, and how they started working with Botanical Interest and what Botanical Interest does with their seeds and how they store them and how they count them and package them. It just seems like it was a family run business that I think Eric from Epic Gardening took over or bought. I'm not quite sure. And they are a loving company and they really love what they do and they care about their product. So when I started to see that, I did a little research, and then of course my strawberry seeds, they, and I didn't know this at the time, they are, I mean, I have 12 packs of these, and this is the seed that's on the tower for the strawberries. I mean, right down to, if you watch the video, they talk about the artistry of the packets. And they hire some artist, whomever, and they actually draw this. And they've got a whole file cabinet of all the different seeds, and that they are done. It's not just like done in Canva. It's an actual person that does it. So they, from stem to stern, from the packaging to how they store their seeds to the actual product. And this is the actual result of, the beans. I've got 20 beans right here. And I know that this is a big seed and they plant super easy. But here's the thing. I don't have any waste. So that little packet of seeds, which is this right here, this Bean Bush Blue Lake 274. Okay, this is what's in this tray. And they're pretty good size. And it doesn't say how much, but I will say the weight, 20 grams, is in here. And, they're easy to grow. But the fact that I didn't have any waste and I paid $3.49 for the package. So it's a good buy. And they've got their little stamp of the USDA, or organic, that the seeds are organic. I don't know if all of them are, but some of them are. I just love it. No waste. These guys are not, but it looks like they're all pretty good because I dumped a ton of seeds in each one of them. So we'll see what happens with those. I'm going to put that top back on. Keep them warm. And it's late in the afternoon, so I'm going to go ahead and close their vents. And these guys are too tall to have their tops on, so they just rely on the spider lights. But you can get a nice view of the nursery. And right where you were standing, where you were watching me, I'm going to put you back for a second because I want to see if I were to put, and just for hypothetical reasons here, if I were to put a camera, let's just say right where the spider light is above it, and you could get a bird's eye view of like all of the things that are growing, like maybe it's higher so you can really get a good look, and watch it live, like seriously, would you do it? Just question, leave it in the comments. Let me know if you would go to the website and watch it. It'd be like the seed can. But I think it'd be cool just from a perspective of I can take it off the platform and I could speed it up and then do a video where, on YouTube, where this is a seed on day one, and day it would be like just like whoosh, there it is, like super fast. So you could see, and then I could promote the seed too, going, this is what I used, go get it. And you too could have tomatoes or whatever, beans or whatever you're growing. So that would be amazing. So come on out. All right, I'm going to go work on that video about building that tower that I got and rescued. Ooh, you're rocking. That I rescued out of the storage bin. And again, people, if you're looking for towers and you don't want to pay the full price, I understand. I have 9 towers, and most of them were bought through the Tower Garden website, but a lot of them were not. They were rescued off of the Facebook Marketplace in my zone, my area, And I don't know where you are. If you're in the United States, all you gotta do is punch in your zip code. And I'm telling you, these people bought them in the pandemic, and they're sitting in garages, they're sitting in basements, they're sitting in storage container, the one that I just built. I just put it together. This woman had it in the storage bin, brand new, never touched it. All of the parts were there from what I could see. If you watch the video, you're going to see that I started with here's a bag, here's a box. I don't know what's in it, but if I need something, I'll just go to Tower and get it. But it looks like everything is there, including extra stuff. I mean, there was extra hose that I didn't even know what goes here. So in the box that she gave me, there was this teeny tiny tube. Does anybody know what this is? I've never seen this either of the Flex or the Home in the package. So I know that the Tower is old, meaning like it's brand new, but she bought it several years ago. So I don't even know what she would what they would use this for. They have the thicker one, and they've stopped putting those in the towers. You can actually buy that. That's just a drainage hose. I personally wouldn't do that, but I would just get like a sub pump, put it in the bottom of the 20 or the 13, and attach it to a sink, a tub, or toilet, and then pump that sucker right out. I wouldn't even worry about the hose. But this little teeny tiny, if someone knows, please leave it in the comments, because I'm bewildered as to why that was in the box. The other thing that the Tower Garden directions don't tell you is the bottom of those wheels. Obviously, they're different than the flex dollies. You need a wrench, a 15. Okay, so just FYI, it's a 15, and to tighten them and make sure that they're tight. And make sure if you do the dollies too, um, not to pick on my husband, but he built one of my dollies early on. And I went to move it. This is when we were in the other room, and literally the wheel fell off. I'm like, dude, um, it's a good thing he's not a mechanic. He's a retired doctor. And yeah, I was not happy with that. So I literally had to prop up. It was full of water. Let me give you a visual. 20 gallons in the tank, a full tower of, I don't even know which one it was, probably the tomatoes. Um, it was good size at that point. 20 gallons of water, plus all of the stack, plus the baby greens, plus the lights. So the amount of weight, I'm going, great, what do we do? So I had to kind of like deadlift it up and stack. I think I used books so that it would be off kilter a little bit. And then I had to go in to fasten the wheels. So word of caution, when you put the dollies together, the wheels come separate, and you have to attach it. And so make sure that, whatever tools you're using, make sure those wheels are on tight, man, because the amount of weight that's in the Flex when they're completely full with the pieces and the lights and the water, they're not light. And the same thing with the Home. So, when you put it together, make sure that everything's nice and tight and screwed in. If you've been watching any of my Let's Talk About It, we talked about this one last week, where somebody's tower, I think it was a home, had cascading water. And so people were chiming in like, try this, try that. I was like, do process of elimination first before you start ripping your tower apart. Make sure that the ground is level, number one. Number two, take your lights off and tighten down those wing nuts. Three, make sure that, all of your pieces fit together. So sometimes the baby green section on the Home fits a little bit different than it does on the Flex. So yeah, it's water can be really damaging, especially if you're going to leave your towers for a little bit. I've done it so far for one night, and I didn't have anxiety, but I got 9. So imagine the water or something that could happen if the trip, in my breaker things, it's shorted. We're going to talk about that one next week. There's a really good comment that came in the next one that I'm programming for next Wednesday at 11, and it's about somebody who lives in an older home. So in the area that I live in the Northeast, there are a lot of old houses. I mean, we're talking in a matchstick they would go up because they're so old. And in my neighborhood alone, they've got plaques, built in 1840. So these things are like ancient. And so whether they've been restored, I'm not sure how many times, but being so old that the breakers, if they haven't been updated, they'll never be able to handle these towers. So I really want to dig into that one next Wednesday at 11, that if you have an older home, you need to update your electrical. I live in a new construction home. And with the 9 towers, I had someone come in for a different reason. Our brand new refrigerator, it's one of those bougie things that I can't stand because you can't put anything. It's very pretty, but here's the thing: you can't put anything in it. So I hate it. Anyway, so give me back my, my cheap little, Frigidaire, and I'm be super, super happy. But my point is that the electrician came downstairs and he was playing around with our circuit breaker, and I was like, "Hey, Chris, come on in this room. What do you think?" He's like, he was blown away that I could grow vegetables in my basement. But my point is, I'm like, is this enough electricity, for the downstairs? And he looked at me and he's kind of counted. He's like, other LED lights, da, da, da. He's like, they're fish, he's counting up the towers and doing his, his little equation. He goes, it should be, but I'm adding tower number 9. Not going to lie, I'm a little nervous. But I think it's going to be okay because I'm going to put it next to the watermelon tower, and that tower, the 2 towers will share the timer, okay, because they're both home, and then I'll just run the lights off of another outlet, and then I'll probably have Chris come back and go, "Am I okay?" Because I cannot run all the towers, all the pumps, um, and a fan. I don't have the fan on right now, and vacuum at the same time, or have a TV on. If like I'm working by myself and I just want some background noise, it tripped the breaker, and I was like, oh no. So I had to go to the breaker box and obviously push it this way and then push it back this way, and then I had to run into the room because it tripped. So everything, all the timers shut off. So know this, that if your breaker trips and your electricity goes down, you have to remember to reset your timers, not on the lights, because the lights stop too, but on the fishbowl, the little pumps, because it's going to reset back to 0. So if you're indoors, it's going to go to 0, which means it's going to be firing off faster, longer. So it's really important to make sure you put it back to 1. Otherwise, you're going to have probably some yellowing of the leaves because it's getting too much water. It doesn't need that much. Now, if you're outside, which I'm not quite sure, I'm going to take my towers this summer outside. I don't know. I mean, obviously you set it to 0, but then what do you do with the electrical cords and the heat? That's a whole other can of worms that I just go, wow, that's a lot of juice be sitting there, coming, out of an outlet. So maybe we'll play around with that this summer with a tower or 2 and see. But for right now, I'm gonna keep my towers inside and maybe have the electrician come back. But be sure to catch that video next Wednesday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, because we're going to be definitely discussing about the kinds of homes you live in and the electrical support you need for the towers and the pumps and the lights. So that being said, thank you guys for stopping by. Thanks for coming in into the live. Anthony, thank you so much for letting me know about the sound. If there's an issue, then obviously thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. And tune in. I'm going to be doing some really great stuff. And also let me know in the comments what you think about these live cameras, because I'm really, really thinking hard about it. Of putting them at least one so far in the seed location, which would be in the nursery. And then you guys can watch it real time, and then I can take it off that platform and then speed it up, throw it into a video for you so you could actually watch the seeds from stem to stern real fast and see how long it actually took. So definitely comment and let me know what you think. But I'm going to work with this guy who's a super techie, see if we can't figure out this platform for the camera. So thanks again for stopping by, and we'll see you very, very soon.